Toastmasters and fellow guests. This is my icebreaking speech, so this first speech, as Andrew mentioned, and I'm going to be basically talking about myself, taking you through a bit of background, what have I gone through, and what I am doing today, basically. My name is Rubaid. Here in England, they pronounce my name as Rubaid, but that's not the right pronunciation. I know it sounds French, but it has nothing to do with the French. It's basically where it originally came from. My grandmother, my father's mother, she went to Oman before I was born, Oman, a country in the Middle East. And over there she met a lot of people and their name was Rubaid. So she came with that name Rubaid, but when she came back home to Pakistan, that's where I'm from, she's like, I was born then, and she came back, she's like, I've heard of this name, Rubaid. It was supposed to be Obed, but she said Rubaid, so that was a mistake, but anyways. So then they said, in my culture, when you name someone, you need to know the meaning of the name, otherwise you don't name the person. I think it brings in good luck or something. So they said, just name Rubaid, it's a very nice name, we'll find out the meaning later on. And later on, they found out the meaning, and the meaning was handsome. I'm sure you all agree with that. And then later on, actually, it was, I think, 3 weeks ago, after 23 years of my life, my brother messaged me on Facebook, and he goes like, hey Rubaid, I've actually found the meaning of your name. And I'm like, oh, what is it? And he goes like, your name means a pickle. I was like, what? A pickle? That makes no sense. No? And I was like, you know what? Let's just leave it between you and I. Nobody in the family should know that that's what my name means. And let's just stick to handsome. I like that. Okay, so I've actually lived in 3 different countries in my life. Originally coming from Pakistan, that's my hometown. And then I moved to Canada, where I lived in Toronto. I lived there for 5-6 years. And here I'm in England. I've lived here for 5 years now. So when I was really young, I'll take you through a few stories of my life. Too many stories to tell, but I'll break it down. When I was young, maybe in grade 5 or grade 6, really young, I did not like to study. I was never a good student. Not that I used to study and not get the grades, I just did not like to touch the books. And that was a big concern for my parents. My dad was like, you know what, this kid needs to study, we'll do whatever it takes for us to make sure he studies and get good grades. So my dad made sure I had all private tutors and all sorts of people teaching me, but again, I just did not like to study. I was more of a sporty person, a bit of socializing, and that was what I used to like. So once what happened was, when I was young, I got my report card, my grades, and obviously they were not that good, and that obviously ticked my dad off. My dad's like, he basically has given me a lot of things in life, and he said he just can't study for us, that's not a good thing. So what he did was, when I got my grades, the following night, there was a school party, which I was supposed to attend, all the students were supposed to attend. And back in those days, this was I think mid-90s, late 90s, I used to have long hair, so that was in fashion. So my dad's like, the best way to get this boy back is to cut all his hair off when he's going to the party. So I'm like, I did not know this was going to happen. So this is back home in Pakistan. My dad's like, Rubaid, I told my driver actually, he's like, take this boy to the hairdresser and don't tell him why he's doing that, just take him there. I'm like, alright, let's go. And we sat with my driver to the hairdresser, and of course what happened, I didn't want to get my hair cut, but I was forced to, and I got my hair cut. Then I went to that party, and everyone, all the girls are like, Rubaid, what happened to your hair? Rubaid, what happened to your hair? I'm just like shrugging my shoulders and just walking around like, don't ask, I didn't tell them this because of my grades, but I just, so that was quite embarrassing. That's one story from back home in Pakistan. And another thing was, when I was back home. I did not like to speak in English. I used to always speak in my language. That was another concern for my parents. But I was like, you know what, let's take this boy out of Pakistan, send him to Canada. That's when I went to Canada. And now in Canada, when I went there, instead of going to a private school, I went to a public school. And the reason why I went to a public school, because throughout my life I went to private school, my dad was like, you know what, I need to make our kid a man, so he needs to go to public school and, you know, hang out with people who are a bit rough and all, rather than going to a private school where people are good boys, as you call it. So another thing that happened, of course, I wasn't studying there. I developed this new fashion, which I don't know if you all are familiar with, the yo culture. And now what the yo culture is like how you see most artists, R&B, hip hop, you know, how they dress up with chains, weird hats, and long t-shirts. So I started walking around, like, you know, talking to my dad, like, what's going on here? You know what, bring it back to Pakistan. So then I came to Pakistan, and here I finished my high school. Yes, I managed to finish my high school really well. And then I came to England, been here for 5 years, and guess what? I'm graduating in May now with the 2-1. Thank you. And another thing was that when I came to England, that was the first time I got my independence. So before my life, everything was done for me. If I had to do anything, my dad or someone always helped me out. So when I came to England, I'll tell you one small incident that happened. I know the red light's on. When I came here, I had no confidence in dealing with things. For example, when I was moving out to the student accommodation, I had to find myself an apartment, and kid you know, I could not call an agent and say, you know what, I want to rent this flat out. I was too shy to do it. But of course, I somehow managed to do it, asking friends and all. And here I am, giving a speech in front of people which I thought I could never